your attention. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Trickster.
What was that film you were watching?
Death, death, death.
Death, death, death.
Part 2.
Oh, Lord.
Michael's seen it,
Go for it, man.
done it, played it.
Look, I've played them all.
And just when he thought he'd die of boredom,
Brainscan, the ultimate experience in interactive terror.
Let's party.
enjoy the fear.
Okay, so kids, what, you're gonna go to the movies? You go to the movies, you sit there and you watch a movie, right? You eat some popcorn, the movie ends, you go home. That's a movie, right? This movie is gonna come out and it's gonna get you, all right? You're not gonna leave the theater the same.
Brainscan is about this kid. His name is Michael, and he really likes video games and horror films, and is into virtual reality.
You are dial 1-800-555-FEAR.
Yeah. And then he gets the CD-ROM, which shows you what it's like to kill somebody.
It was sick.
See, I told you, man. I told you it would blow your mind.
Yeah, man, Kyle, you know what? You were right. The feeling, I loved it,
So,
man.
you got it on you?
Patience, Kyle.
He plays it, and the game gets more complicated than he really expected.
It wasn't supposed to be real!
Real, unreal, what's the difference? So long as you don't get caught.
I think it's somewhat different from much of the stuff in this genre because it's not a slasher movie. The terror, for the most part, is psychological terror.
You must eliminate the witness.
There was a witness.
2, if you count me.
And the Trickster, I sort of thought of him as very much a Mr. Hyde to Michael's Dr. Jekyll.
How did you get in here?
You invited me in. That's how it always works. Michael, don't you have anything good?
I really believe the Trickster is another side of Michael that isn't there, but that people don't see. It's something that Michael really wants to be.
Oh, come on, sport. You're more than just the voyeur you wish to be. You're in this now. You won't survive on your own. I'm willing to help you. But you have to play all the discs.
Hey, I've done pretty good so far.
Have you?
When Dr. Frankenstein wanted to create a monster, he went to a graveyard. And I think now Michael just went to a computer and put elements together and wound up with this.
Generally speaking, a prosthetic makeup needs more maintenance than just about any other type of makeup that you can do.
The makeup of the Trickster was absolutely fantastic. It was done by Steve Johnson, that is one of the best in the world.
We've done some work on the Nightmare on Elm Street series. Pet Cemetery 2 last year, Innocent Blood, the list goes on. It's far too long. But one of the things I'm most proud of is The Abyss, the work we did on The Abyss. We built the actual alien beings.
Mind if I poke? No, go ahead.
When you see a makeup effect that is physically done, even if it's combined with some type of optical, the audience has a feeling of participation because they know someone somewhere figured out how to trick them like a magician does.
I think the whites of my eyes are my own.
Can't forget the teeth.
After sitting in the chair for the 4 hours, suddenly I have the eyes in. He's there. He's arrived.
Yes, I've arrived. But who called the cops?
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Hayden. This is my partner, Sergeant Morton. We've met before, twice, I believe.
Fun guy, huh?
Stay in pairs. One walkie-talkie to a group. Hopefully, this will be an uneventful evening.
Here you go, man.
You're here to keep things calm.
Jeez, he's got a gun!
Police out.
To make a movie like this takes real guts.
Can we fix it? Effects in movies are, obviously these things are amazing. What can be done digitally with computers. Yeah, and you can go in quickly,
Yeah, that's what I'm
shove them in, all right. Yeah. I am terrible with computers. The only time I've ever operated a computer, I got my hand caught.
Oh, so mean. But no country western music, please. Every man has his limits. You come see this movie.
or I'll come see you.
What Brainscan is about is this kid. His name is Michael, and he really likes video games and horror films, and is into virtual reality. And then he gets the CD-ROM, which shows you what it's like to kill somebody. And basically, he plays it, and the game gets more complicated than he really expected, and I don't want to give away too much of the story because it's really good.
This movie is kind of a computer Jekyll and Hyde, or a computer Frankenstein, I think. If the voice in your computer suddenly started talking back to you and offered you anything you wanted, and then showed up in this form, what would you do? That's the movie. Trickster is sort of a psychic Frankenstein. If you could go around the pop culture graveyard and take bits and pieces of various characters and put them together, you'd wind up with this. Trickster's relationship with Michael, Eddie Furlong, is hard to say. He might be a figment of his imagination, he might not. He might be a hologram, he might not. He might actually be in the room, he might not. It's sort of for you to decide, I think. I sort of thought of him as very much a Mr. Hyde to Michael's Dr. Jekyll. Kind of a Frankenstein, like I said, a psychic Frankenstein. A lot of rock and roll stars I looked at. Steve Tyler, Aerosmith. I think of the Trickster as kind of the child of Iggy Pop and Keith Richards. If they sort of mixed up in a genetic lab somewhere, you'd come out with this. I was one of those kids who grew up watching horror films, buying the horror magazines, putting together with my brothers, the horror models of figures. So to be asked to play a monster in a movie was just sort of a logical outcome of that. It was as if I'd been preparing for it for, 25 years, 30 years. So here I am. It was great. It's as liberating as it can be for an actor to play a monster. There are no rules with a monster.